Hello everyone. Today is Rabbi Shlomo's yurtzeit. Here we are in the Beit Knesset of Ma'or Modi'in, where Rabbi Shlomo was with us from 1976 till he passed away in 1994. This relatively small Beit Knesset, over the years and since Rabbi Shlomo has passed away, has hosted scores of thousands of people. When he was alive, he did approximately 10 Shabbatons a year with us, and most of the people could not fit into the shul. They were out on the porch, and the Nusach Karlebach, Shlomo's davening, which is spread all over the world, in great measure found its home here in the Moshav. 10 Shabbatons a year, other than the shul in New York, was probably where he was more than any place else, because every week he seemed to be in a different city, a different country. So until this day, Rabbi Shlomo's spirit is still very, very alive here on Shabbat and on holidays. And of course, we have the twice a year festival where thousands and thousands of people come. And I want to take the opportunity in the small amount of time that I have to speak with you, two stories that happened here in the Beit Knesset that I'd like to share with you. The first one was on Rosh Hashanah. Rabbi Shlomo was with us here two different times for Rosh Hashanah. Experiences we will never ever forget. And one of them, he was sitting right over here in front of the Aron HaKodesh, and as he usually did, after Mincha, before we would daven Ma'ariv or Kabbalat Shabbat, he would learn with us. So he was learning and learning and learning, and it was getting later and later and later, and people were kind of wondering, like, why is it taking so long? So at one point, maybe he picked up on this energy, he turned to everyone and said, "Chavre, you know, the truth is, I'm stalling. I just don't feel the new year yet. I just don't feel it yet." And then he thought for a few minutes, and he said, "You know, maybe this is crazy, but I have the feeling we need to walk the old year to the gate of the Moshav. Let's do it." So everyone got up. He led the way to the gate of the Moshav. Everyone was singing. We got to the gate of the Moshav, and Rabbi Shlomo continued to teach. And obviously was trying to draw down the energy of the new year. After a certain amount of time, he said, "You know, I think it's time for the new year." So we all came back to the shul, and the davening was out of this world, it was a gewalt. And it was like straight out of a Hasidic storybook. But anyone who was here and experienced that, it was so real, so spontaneous, but so in tune with what was happening. That's one story. The second story I'd like to share is that Rabbi Shlomo was here on Hoshana Rabbah. It was one of the 2 years that he was with us for Simchas Torah. And Hoshana Rabbah at night, we were sitting outside of the shul on the deck, and whenever he finished the teaching, he said, "Chavre, when are we davening in the morning?" Okay, so it was decided we're davening at 9 o'clock in the morning. And he said, almost without a second thought, he said, "Chavre, everyone bring your instruments. We're going to do a hallel to music." And then I was sitting next to him, so I'll never forget this. He got very excited and his eyes got very, very big, and he said, you know, this might be the first time since the Beit HaMikdash to do Hallel with instruments. And he got very excited. And the next day, people brought instruments. I remember C. Lansbaum was here, and he stood next to Reb Shlomo. And Reb Shlomo was not playing guitar. C. Lansbaum was doing the guitar for him. And we did Hallel, of course, with shaking lulav. It took at least an hour and a half. And like that paved the way for congregations all over the world now that do Hallel on Rosh Chodesh, of course on Hoshana Rabbah, with instruments. This year, I had the great privilege to be with Rabbi Shlomo Katz, who did an incredible Hoshana Rabbah Hallel with instruments, and was just, he was channeling himself, but he was channeling Reb Shlomo. So anyways, this is the yurt site. We miss Reb Shlomo very, very much.